Hello, I'm the art teacher. Today I would like to show you how to draw and color some birds, some kind of funny birds. Someone showed me a while back how to make some funny jay birds. Now it's not the J as in blue jay, it's J as in the letter J. So I'm going to draw one jay bird here and then show you what you can do with it. Now before I get started, what I'm looking at is what elements of art am I planning on using? Well, with my crystal desk reference, elements of art, I'm going to be using lines, shapes, and colors. And then the idea is, what principle am I going to make using those elements? And I am going to be using contrast. Contrast is the difference between elements in an artwork. So I'll tell you about that contrast once we get to the coloring part. Okay, so to make a jaybird, I make the letter J, but I stretch it out, almost I bend it up a little bit. So I start at the bottom here, and I go all the way up, and it makes kind of a lazy J. I think you guys can see that. Let me see if I can zoom it in a little closer. There we go. So it's a lazy J. Then I'm going to take the bottom point of the J and draw a line to the top part. You can draw a straight line or you can do a little curve. I like doing a little curve, so let me do that. I'm going to curve it down a little bit and then curve it back up. So there. It almost looks like a certain sports emblem, or you can say it looks like a smile. I could put two eyes there and it would be a smile. But it makes a shape. Two lines like this make a shape. A shape is an enclosed space. So with this shape, I plan on doing a similar shape, one that looks similar, meaning it looks almost alike. I'm going to do a curved line here. And this one comes way out and meets it. So you can see how they look similar to each other. Now I've got two shapes. I'm going to do a third shape right up here. At the very tip top, I'm going to do a triangle. Except all I have to do is draw two of the lines, and it makes the triangle because it's touching this other shape. Now that's not a perfect straight line, but I'm not going to worry about it. Now in here, since this is going to be the beak of my jaybird, I'm going to draw a small line here, starting at the point, coming back down like this. I'm going to put a little circle there for my eye. And now for my feet, I'm going to put one line that goes onto the body of the bird, coming down. And then I'm going to do three lines. 1, 2, 3. Behind it, when I say behind it, it's not really behind it, but it's going to look like it's behind it because I'm going to start here instead of up there. Here, and I go 1, 2, 3. It'll look like this leg is behind that bird, that body. And now for the tail feathers, I'm going to draw another shape. And it can be whatever shape you want it to be. I'm going to go up and down. Almost like the same shape of the bird except turned upside down. And another one. And another one. Now that's my jaybird. Now here's the neat thing about this. You can think of any bird that you can, like a toucan, a hummingbird, a hawk, all these birds that have different types of beaks, and try to copy those beaks. And you can't even change the feather, the wing here, to make it fluffy. You can actually make it come out like it's flying. You can make the tail feathers get longer or shorter. You can put feathers on the top as a headdress. You can make it look like a chicken. For instance, if I wanted to make this whole bird, right now it's just a bird, but if I changed one thing on it, you would call it a chicken. All I would have to do is this. I put that little there, and you would say it's a chicken. So once you do this, you need to play around and see what would happen if you do a jaybird going the other way, and what would happen if you made the tail's feathers shorter, longer. I did 3. What would happen if you did 4 or 5 or maybe 2 or maybe just one big one? What if you made them square at the end instead of rounded, and straight instead of bent? And what about the beak, if the beak was really far out, or the wing was a little different, or you could even put a different pattern in the wing. For instance, I could do a wavy pattern and then color that in. Now if I do a pattern in the wing, I would like to leave the body alone. But if I do a pattern in the body, I would like to leave the wing alone. Because if you have too much going on, it's very distracting. Now, once you get this done, and you get however many you're going to do, and I did this one pretty large, you color it in with crayon really hard. Now here's the coloring part about what I was talking to you before, using color and wanting contrast. I'm going to choose to do this. I'm going to choose to do my birds in warm colors. Reds, yellows, and reds, yellows, and oranges, right? To help me, I use my crayon box that I have that says cool colors. Oh, wrong one. My mistake. Grabbed the wrong box. Warm colors. My warm and neutral colors. Let's open this up. I have all my warm colors, which are, whoops, get my green, the other wrong colors there. I have my reds, my oranges, and my yellows. And on this side, I have my neutral colors, which are my browns, my grays, my whites, my blacks. So what you do is, you're going to take your warm colors only, your warm colors. You're going to color them in, color your bird in, and when you're done coloring the bird, remember this is the steps. You must color the bird in first with warm color crayons, then you outline it in a black crayon. That's the last step, black crayon. Once you outline it in black crayon, you'll get something that looks like this. Now I did get some cool colors for the line, the horizontal line for the horizon, and I did get some green, blue greens for the little grass here, but you'll see why in just a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is take my trusty watercolors right there, take some water, take my trusty little brush, and I'm going to actually wet the paper first, just a little bit. I'm not going to go all the way to the edges because it will kind of make the paper curl up. So I'm just going to do this part here, just the top part. You can see how the paper is getting kind of wet. Now if I was using watercolor paper, you probably wouldn't see these markings there. But this is just something fun, just play around with. And I get some blue, and I can start at the top, and I'm just going to brush it all over everything, all over my birds. And you'll need a paper towel. Here's why. Once I do this, I just get my paper towel and I can blot. This is called blotting. I can blot my birds up a little bit. There. Now I'm going to do green on the bottom. Again, I'm going to wet my paper. And do you see how fast I did that too? It doesn't take long. By the way, my bird right here, I did a white beak, and so the watercolor doesn't get onto that. Now I'm going to go for green. Start it right at the top. Bring it down. You can see how I'm doing that. A little bit more green. It doesn't take long at all. And you just brush right over the chickens, the ducks, whatever bird you think you made. And matter of fact, some of your birds may not even look like any birds you've ever seen. Get a little extra water here. And now what I have is some warm colors, birds, on top of cool color background. Let me dab my birds here again a little bit. There. And now I have a nice picture using the elements of art, line, color, shape, to make a contrast, the principle of design, contrast, where there's a difference. Warm color birds against the cool color background. And I do this for my second graders, and I'm sure they're going to have lots of fun with it. Okay, that's all for now, and I'll see you next time.